All right, I've just checked in. I'm at Amicalola Falls State Park. I have my tag and got my parking spot for the next couple days. I have a little bit of a unique start to my Thru-Hike. I'm going to do this weekend, go back and work for a week, and then come back to the trail after that. I'm going to try to aim maybe for Gooch Gap, and then maybe see if I can get to Woody, but Gooch Gap is probably most likely. It took me a very long time to get here today, a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I had about a 4.5 5 hour drive from the Charlotte area in North Carolina down to the state park here, and there was a huge accident on 85 South that literally added at least a full hour to my drive. So I'm getting started later today than I wanted to, but we're just gonna play it by ear. I have my shuttle booked. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling good. I'm a little nervous. I got that first day of school tingly feeling going on, but overall feeling really good, feeling really confident. Sat in my session, got to meet the staff that work here, and they were really nice and kind and had us do a little leave no trace session as part of registering. So now it's just hiking a few miles here. We'll see how well the trail is marked and how comfortable I feel. Originally I was supposed to go to Springer Mountain Shelter tonight, which is 8 miles, and currently I only have a few hours of daylight left, so not sure if I'm going to go all the way that way, but we'll see. I would definitely have to night hike part of it, but I've done quite a bit of night hiking as part of my training in the winter leading up to this, so I am not super afraid of that if I need to. Although if the trail is difficult or markers are not super obvious, that would be something that would maybe deter me a little bit. So just getting going, and really excited to start. My family has sent me some messages today. I've got my friend Francesca that I backpack with. She sent me a message today, and everybody's just really excited and seeing me off with good wishes. So I've got them on my shoulders as I'm getting started here. All right, I think that's it. I'll maybe update you later.
These memories will stay with me.
First wildlife of the AT. This look like groundhog? Not a beaver. Wonder what he's looking for. As always, video is not going to capture it, but the visitor center was way back here, and I had to walk along this creek and then go up some stairs, come around to this bridge here, come over here, wind my way up these stairs, and then I still have more stairs to go to get to the top, but I'm over halfway, so I'm not dead yet. Not dead yet. All right, it's morning 2. I'm passing several campgrounds here, or campsites here, as I walk this trail, so I'm gonna try and be a little quiet in case anybody's still asleep. I woke up at 5:30. Oh man, day 1 was just a recap. It took me almost 2 hours longer to get to Amicalola Falls from my home, and so that sent me behind. It took me a little bit longer to actually get started, and then that first mile going up the stairs is a little brutal. Yeah, it definitely is testing if your trail legs are ready. But yesterday was a little rough for me physically. I have been having issues with my right shoulder hurting, and for like the last 2 years. It's nothing too serious. I can still move it, but it does ache. And at my last doctor's appointment a couple weeks ago, my doctor prescribed a round of prednisone and then some like a long release type of ibuprofen, basically. After that, so I started the prednisone, but I felt horrible on it, and that was just on Monday and Tuesday of this week. I still feel like and I started on Friday, so I still feel like my body was kind of, I don't know, like holding the salt that prednisone can make you do that, and making me feel weak. On top of that, I also woke up yesterday with my stomach not being 100%, and then as it went further along in the day, and of course as you exercise, that can make things even worse. So it was kind of a tough climb to do all those stairs at the falls. By the way, the side path is not open right now, so you do have to do the stairs unless you want to drive to the top of them to skip them. But if you are parking like I was, I've left my car at Amicalola because I'm going to have to go back home and work for a week. So I have a shuttle picking me up in a couple days, on Sunday, tomorrow now, and they're going to take me back to my car. But I couldn't drive myself to the top because I need to park in a certain lot for that. So the long story short is, by the time I got up the falls into my campsite, which was at about mile 1.6 of the approach trail, I hadn't made it very far, but it was closer to 6 o'clock, which was a good time to kind of find a site to tuck into. Ate some dinner. Sean and I made dehydrated meals, and I haven't really recorded any videos about that process, but I might try and do a little bit of that this week when I'm home. We made Cajun corn chowder, which had like corn and peppers and onions and I did half and half with coconut milk powder and just regular dry milk powder, Cajun seasoning, probably a little salt and pepper in there, maybe some paprika. I don't know. I'm a little crazy with my seasonings. I just kind of throw things in and feel it with my heart until it tastes right. But and then bacon bits. There were some bacon bits in there. Those are nice. I really liked having those in there. I was actually a little worried about that meal when I made it. When I initially tasted it at home, I didn't really love it with the coconut milk powder, just by itself. But that was bomb last night. Super, super good. I could literally eat that just for dinner at any time. So really happy with that meal. But my stomach was just not right still. I actually wasn't having issues with acid reflux, which is normally an issue that I struggle with. It was lower than that. So I had to go to the bathroom several times. And then I'm laying there in my tent in my stomach is just rumbling like thunder, and thinking, why the hell am I doing this to myself? Why am I out here in the woods when it would be so much nicer to be home and have a toilet? And then I had to remind myself, that's why I'm doing this, is because it's about challenging myself. It's about being uncomfortable. I didn't die. I woke up. It took a couple hours after I fell. It took a couple hours after I started trying to fall asleep. Kind of went to bed around, like, started closing my eyes around like maybe 10:30, and I didn't really I don't really feel like I slept at all. I know that I did. My watch says I only light slept, which matches kind of my experience. I think I woke up 20 times plus, just to turn over, and I'd used my clothes as a pillow before, but I put my puffy in. Normally I was wearing my puffy in those cases because I was training during temperatures that were really cold to test my cold gear, so I would be wearing my puffy, but I put that on my pillow, my stuff sack, to be my pillow, and it kept running away from me throughout the night. And let's see if I can. And I kept having to wake up to bring my pillow back under my head. So I'm gonna have to try and figure that out a little bit. It is warm. It's a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be. Yesterday I got almost up to 80 when I was doing the stairs, and I've been doing all of my training hikes. I think the warmest it's been maybe is like 55, 60 degrees. So that also was not helping with my body feeling tired and fatigued, and I was sweating a lot. I took in some electrolytes that helped a lot, but I felt a lot better this morning. I chugged a bunch of water right before I broke camp, and now I'm just out here in the woods. Look at this tree. Wouldn't have wanted to be under that. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot more positive this morning. Sleep does that, Always sleep on your decisions if you're not feeling good. Give yourself some time to process. And ultimately, that's what I was telling myself last night when I'm thinking, why am I doing this? And I'm like, okay, this is temporary. There's another campsite over here. Little fire pit. Kind of right in here. This, if anybody's planning to do the approach trail, it is totally possible to just do part of the approach trail. I don't know why I was in my head about trying to get all the way to Springer Mountain Shelter on day one, and yes, that might have been nice from a mileage standpoint, but no reason to not stop along the approach trail here. It's got a lot of these little campsites. It's got at least one shelter along the way, and there's some steep climbs there in the first couple miles. So if you are like me and you're coming in because you're driving in, or a guy named Nick at my campsite last night, he flew in from PA. If you're in that situation, don't feel like you can't come and spend your first night on the approach trail. There's nothing keeping you from doing that. And honestly, it's set me up really well this morning, because people get up and they start moving, 5:30, 5:36, and they get you up too. So last night I was also kind of upset because I wanted to have ended up doing like about 6 more miles yesterday that I didn't get done. And so I'm also in my head about the mileage and how quickly I'm moving already. It's day one and I'm already worried about the But I have to get out of this mindset of like these little trivial things in the end. Like when I'm 100 miles in, it's not gonna matter that I only went to mile 1.6 today on the approach trail. So you've woken up with a lot more perspective, and I know I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I think that's part of what this trail teaches you over time, and it's gonna feel like I'm learning that lesson, I'm sure, over and over and over, until it starts to feel like a regular part of my day and a regular part of the experience, and I feel really comfortable overcoming that. And then it becomes other things that are actually really hard, not just those basic adjustments that I have to make, and my mentality. And but I am up this morning. It's nice and cool. I'm moving. I don't know how far I am, but I feel like I've done at least over a mile. I got up. My plan for eating is, especially since my stomach wasn't feeling 100 last night, is I got up and ate a Special K protein bar, which isn't like a huge amount of calories, but it gets something in my stomach. Still, trying to gauge if my stomach felt better because there was nothing in it. So this isn't like noro or anything. This is kind of normal for me, because I have IBS. It's one of the things I always have to be cognizant of. So ate a little protein bar this morning, and then I was thinking of hike for maybe an hour until about 8, and then eat my breakfast. I have peanut butter protein oatmeal in my pack, and it's one of the heaviest things in my pack right now, so it'd be nice to eat that and get that off my back. But I wanted that Special K bar and to kind of get moving, help get my digestion going a little bit more, and get a gauge on how I was feeling. I do feel a lot better. Drinking that water, which I obviously would need in this case, to help combat all the water that I was losing last night. Spider web. But yeah, I'm gonna stop and eat my oatmeal. I might only eat half of it. I learned last night that I think my dinner portions that Sean and I made, at least until my hiker hunger fully kicks in, are probably going to be more like 2 servings. And what I probably should do is cook half of it first, make sure I can eat that before I eat the second half. That way I'm not wasting the food that we spent time dehydrating. And I'm not also having to carry now wet cooked food in my trash bag. So, all right, well, I will close this out here, but I will check in with you guys later. All right, just a little midday update. Day 2, I stopped and at Deep Gap Shelter, I think is the name of this shelter. It is only like a mile or a mile and a half away from Springer, which is my end goal for the day, and it's only about 12:15. So definitely been able to take it easy. I did get up at 6, so my pace has been slow. But it's been rainy today. It is finally just starting to clear a little bit, and we're starting to see some sunshine, but we've basically been in the clouds all morning, and it was very like wet and damp. So the rocks have been really slick. So I took it real slow, just relaxing, keeping a nice easy pace, and we'll get to Springer And then tomorrow I'll do another 7 miles or so to a spot where my shuttle will pick me up. So yeah, just eating. I woke up this morning early and just had like a protein bar and what else did I eat? And then I had some like snacks. I've been having snacks up until now, and I've been hungry for like the last hour, so I decided to stop and make myself some oatmeal, which is my real breakfast. I probably should have stopped before now, but this is good. This is exactly what I needed. I had some Cheez-Its. What else did I just eat? I had a honey stinger waffle cookie thing, and gonna eat this oatmeal, carb up a little bit for my last little push I gotta do. It is all uphill, but actually most of the hiking for the last 2 days has basically been uphill. There's been some small downhills, but I've been climbing. I think I've done overall, I think I've been doing somewhere like between maybe like 500 and 800 feet of elevation, which isn't crazy, but it's been a lot of up and down and up and down, typical AT roller coaster style. So I'm gonna finish my oatmeal. I stopped at what is the first official shelter that you could stop at, and they've got bear cables here and a box over that way to put your food in at night. So it's a nice little shelter. I'm not staying in the shelters. I'm staying in my tent. Gonna try and avoid norovirus as much as possible. So at least especially for the first quarter of the trail or so. And then there's certain places I have to stay in a shelter. So I'll try and be extra careful even in those situations, but it's tougher in close quarters. So that's my update. Guys, the sun just came out. It's been super cloudy. Basically, I've been in a cloud all day, and I finally have, oh, the sun in it feels so good. It's been kind of cold. It's been like, I don't know, it's been windy, and then you're wet, so it feels cold, but it's actually not that cold from a temperature standpoint. It's just like, you don't really know if you're wet because you're sweaty or you're wet because you're in a cloud or whatever, but yeah, some sunshine. I'm liking it.
The next shelter is point 1. That's
All right, morning update on day 3. I slept in until maybe 7:30, and I only need to do about 6 miles today. I have a shuttle picking me up at 5, so I knew I was in no rush this morning, so my body was tired from yesterday and the push we did yesterday. Stopped at Stover Creek shelter, and I am trying to get to Hightower to my shuttle pickup, so I have basically 8 hours to get there, plenty of time. So I took time to actually cook my breakfast this morning and got up slow and used the restroom, water, and I'm still putting my tent and my hiker explosion together. Felt a little inflamed this morning, a little sore, but once I got moving, I felt okay. I have a couple spots where I'm getting blisters, so trying to mitigate that a little bit. I patched those up last night before I went to sleep. But last night we got to sit around a campfire and chat and get to meet some of the other people that are starting. I'm a little sad that I have to go off trail for a week and change my cadence and potentially not see those people for a while, but I know there'll be other people on the trail when I get on. So, and hopefully I'll be able to run into some of them a little bit later. But yeah, just gotta go ahead and get myself ready. It's a little cooler today, thankfully. So it's humid, but it's cool. Whereas the last 2 days it's been humid and like warm. So it's been, you don't really want to wear like rain gear, but because you're just wet anyway. So you're kind of just damp all day. It does show in the forecast that it will rain today, so I'm planning to at least wear my rain jacket out of camp and then see what happens. And I have my umbrella too. If it's not super heavy, and I'm hot, I might take off the rain jacket and just use my umbrella. I ended up really liking having an umbrella. Wasn't sure I was gonna like that, so. All right, that's my morning update for today. All right, I'm probably close to getting a mile into my 6 miles I have to do for the day. It is 11:20-ish, so I definitely left shelter way later than I normally would, but that's okay. We're doing basically a Nero today, almost, and just getting a shuttle, so no problems with that. It's definitely still wet today. Things are slick, so I'm having to be careful, but I'm not sure I'll get another chance before I get my shuttle and I get home to record an update on where my head's at and how I'm feeling. But I think yesterday was definitely hard. I pushed myself an extra couple miles, I think. I think it was like 2.8 to... Okay. Whew. So, real talk here. I'm close to the end of my 6 miles for the day, but holy cow, these 6 miles are honestly so hard. My legs, my calves, my hamstrings, my glutes, everything is so sore. I was having issues with, at least it stopped raining. That's the silver lining. It's clear now and the temperature's good, but I got kind of wet earlier this morning in some of the rain. It was more like a mist, and then I was still honestly a little wet from yesterday, and I didn't really do my full cleaning routine yesterday, and that meant that I started chafing really badly. in like where my panty line is. Oh, that is the worst. So I had to stop and take care of that. And then I just have no energy. So the majority of the hike so far has been uphill. There's been a handful of downhills. But, you know, I started at 2,500 and I'm almost at 3,500 elevation. So over the past few days overall, I've gained 1,000 feet elevation, but it's been just roller coastering, but more up than down, and been honestly brutal on the uphills. Downhills I'm okay with, flats I'm okay with, but even today the flats are a struggle for me. The downhills are a struggle. My whole body just hurts. So I'm glad I'm getting to go home for a week or so here, 5 days, recuperate. I would definitely be trying to do something like stop at a hostel right now and take a couple of days off. I've been trying to eat as much as I can at my breakfast and my dinner time, and then snacking throughout the day. But according to my Garmin watch, I burned like 4,000 something calories yesterday, and I know I didn't eat that much, and I'm almost certain I didn't eat enough calories the day before either. So that could also be contributing to the fatigue that I'm feeling, and the lack of, I guess, how tired I am. Normally when I've been doing even like longer hikes, I'm not that sore the next day, but last night I could tell it was going to be bad today, because as soon as I kind of stopped moving for a little bit, I was just super tight. When I woke up this morning, like I felt like the Michelin Man. I was like swollen everywhere. My face was swollen, my hands were swollen, my legs, like just everything felt like I had a layer of gel around it. And so I knew it was going to be hard today, but it's been even harder. But you know, this is where I have to really focus on my mindset and keep myself in a better headspace. It's really hard when your body's wanting you to, like, your body's physically putting chemicals into you that make your brain naturally want to lean towards the negative, and I've got to be positive about this. I also put a little bit more pressure on myself by leaving camp early, or leaving camp late this morning. I let myself sleep in a little bit more and ate a ton of food, drank some water. I was like the last one out of camp this morning, and I was okay with that, because I knew I only had to do the 6 miles. My shuttle was supposed to pick me up at 5. I did ask them to move it to 3, but that's just because I know I'll get there around 3 at this point. And I just went over the last uphill, so the positive side is that's why I've waited till now to do an update today, because I needed every ounce of my mental, physical focus to just get me up that last big incline to Hawk Mountain. I'm now should be going down for the entirety of the trail to where I'm getting picked up. So I at least have that. I can be thankful for. My last mile or so here is going to be pretty much just downhill, and I could just kind of let my body lean into that a little bit more. My knees feel okay, which is good. It's my calves and my hamstrings and my feet, the bottoms of my feet. Definitely got some Achilles and plantar fasciitis pain today, so it's mostly the backs of my legs, not the front. My shins feel fine. My quads actually feel okay too. So maybe I need to find a way to even out a little bit to make sure that both sides of my legs are helping the cause here, because I clearly am pushing the backs of my legs a lot. Maybe that's just because of the uphills. So well, that's my update for now. I'll maybe do an update when I get to the spot where my shell's picking me up, if I happen to get there before he does. But I'm alive. I'm here. I'm lucky to get to do this. I'm grateful. And I just need to keep putting one foot in front of the other and continuing. All right. Today is March 14th. It's Saturday. I am back on the trail. I got dropped off at High Tower Gap by my husband Sean. It was definitely hard leaving home last night. I literally logged out of work. We did a couple things to get ourselves ready and get ready to leave, and came down to Georgia. Stayed in a hotel last night in Helen, and got up this morning. We did not get into the hotel until after midnight last night, so it was a late night. I did not give it very many hours of sleep, which you can kind of tell by looking at my face today. So we got up at like 7 or 8 or something like that. We ate breakfast, drove over, dropped me off. It was like, we were kind of taking things slow. I've got 6 to 7 miles to do today, and even having 7 hours to do that, I should be okay with getting there. I might be there kind of close to dark, but not a huge issue for me. I can make dinner in the dark if I need to. I'm just taking it nice and easy. I just did the first uphill, and I'm doing some downhill now, which is nice. Some flat and some downhill. Some flat. There's nothing that's really flat, I'm finding, at least in this section of the AT. And yeah, it was tough. I went to go put my stuff in the car and walk out of the house, and I stopped and gave the kitties a hug. Sean and I have 2 cats, Mush and Otis, and they are always a source of entertainment and love us very much. So that was hard to say goodbye to them. The night before that, I said goodbye to my dog because my parents took him so that we could come down here to drop me off without having to worry about taking him with us. And so I had to say goodbye to him. He's my senior dog. I've had him over a decade now because he's 12, and he is like my sweet baby boy. So it was definitely hard to say goodbye to him. And then of course my husband as well. It's been a little rough this past week for us. I went back home to work for a week to finish up work, and that's officially done with. I'm officially unemployed. Yeah. Taking my sabbatical here, but he actually had to travel for work this past week, so he was gone from Monday through Thursday, and so we actually didn't really spend that much time together this week at home. And he came back kind of late Thursday night, and then we basically had Friday, and we left Friday night, came down here. So it's been a little bit of a busy week for both of us. He hadn't gotten a lot of consistent sleep this week, so I know we were probably a little impatient with each other, trying to get out the door and get everything ready and situated, and there were things that we wanted to get done that didn't happen, and it is what it is. But we were actually driving down here last night, and a dog was running out in the road. It had a collar, and so it was like we were like 10 minutes from our hotel, and it was almost midnight, or it was right at midnight. And Sean is just such a sweetheart with animals. He can't help himself but stop and try and make sure that the animal is safe and okay. So we spent like 45 minutes the dog did have a collar with a number that didn't answer. It's midnight, so we weren't really expecting people to answer. But we spent like 45 minutes. We were calling the police to see like what the animal control situation might be, trying reverse lookup numbers, trying to like track people through the initial number on the caller, and ultimately we couldn't keep the dog with us because we were staying at a hotel that doesn't even that doesn't allow dogs at all except for service animals. So we couldn't bring him. So we ended up, we always have an extra leash in the car for Seymour, or for any dog we find in this situation. And we did leash him off to a post, which neither of us felt great about, but at least he was kind of in a visible area near the road. So we were hoping somebody else might pick him up, since we couldn't. And we also knew that way he wouldn't at least run into the road and get hit by a car. So when animal control called back this morning, they said they were going to go and see if they could locate him. We had reached out to a woman whose property was right there where we found the dog, and called them and thinking that it might be theirs, but it wasn't. And she said she did check with the cafe that we left the dog leashed out in front of, and they also didn't see the dog this morning. So we're thinking somebody picked him up and took him home, and hopefully he makes it back to his owners. So there was that whole situation that happened. So by the time we got to the hotel, it was after 1 a.m. and we took us like half an hour. We got settled in, went to bed, and got up kind of early this morning. So I think I got like maybe 6 hours of sleep. My allergies also seem to be worse today. I don't know if it's just, they weren't really bad last week when I was here, but one more week and we might have some more spring allergies coming through. So dealing with a little bit more tickles in my throat this morning, now this afternoon, and my nose is running more. So I do take Allegra, 24-hour Allegra every day, but I have Benadryl as a backup just in case I need something stronger to get me through something specific. Well, that's kind of my update for now. Right now I'm going to keep meandering my way down, and I have one more big climb, and then I'm going to end at Gooch is my goal. So the goal is to get there before dark, get set up, and then I need to confirm what my plan is for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to Lance Creek Reservation or something like that. Lance something. It's a tenting site. And the next day, Monday, it's supposed to be like a 90% chance of rain and like down to 22 degrees that night. So I might be looking for an option, even if it means slightly less or more miles. I'm gonna maybe look for an option to stay at a hostel, at least for that night. I can get down to those temperatures with the gear that I have, so if I needed to stay out, I'm definitely not at risk of getting hypothermia or anything, but for having a more comfortable night of rest, I probably would be glad to do that. And that will be about 3 days from now, so it'll be a good chance to also potentially resupply a little and just have maybe a slightly easier day on that third day if needed. So I'm not against that. Also not against hiking some extra miles, even in the cold weather on that day. I think it was going to be in the 40s. I don't mind wet, cold, like above 30 degrees, but below 30 degrees it can get pretty miserable. So if we're looking at sleet and ice conditions, I would prefer to go off trail, but we'll see. I might be psyching myself out a little bit too much about that. Well, that's my update. For now, I got started late, so I'm probably not going to stop for an official lunch. I've got my snacks in my pack, I'm just gonna snack my way through the rest of the day and make sure I'm drinking water. I might stop and rest and eat my snacks just to give myself a break halfway through the 5 or so miles I have left. But it's a beautiful day, and it's a little hard to tell, but I can see this ridge line because the trees have not brought in their leaves yet. You can really see how high up I am, and the trail is really beautiful today. It's nice to have some sunshine after last weekend I was kind of socked in for most of my hike during the day, and then sometimes in the late afternoon we would get a little bit of sun, but I really only had a couple hours of sun that was actually out last weekend. So this is very nice. The temperature's great. It's warm but not too warm, and really it's perfect for what I'm trying to do here. So all right, I'm gonna leave this here and maybe update you guys later. So I'm working my way down into this valley, but the thing that sucks about the downs is it's good that I'm going down. It's a little bit easier. It's hard on my knees, but obviously not as hard on the heart and lungs. That's the up I've got to go up next. So you just get to look at the thing you have to climb the whole time you're going down. And what sucks is a lot of times you're actually up at that point, level with it, and you got to go all the way down just to go back up. And skip forward ahead in time, and this is the trail I came up, and that's where I was over there before in the last clip. So I was on top of that mountain and then came down into the valley to come back up this one. This area of trail is very well maintained. They've had a lot of blowdowns, trees even bigger than this one, and they were all clear. So really appreciate our workers that come in and our volunteers that come in and clear the trail out, because they've definitely done a good job. Yep. That's Gooch Gap down there. All right, here's a little morning update. Whew. Today is Sunday, March 15th, and I got up this morning really early. Honestly, despite the fact that I got no sleep the night before, still didn't get good sleep. Yeah, like the bags in her eyes are just growing. I ended up not getting to Gooch Shelter. I stopped about 1 mile to 1.5 miles early at Devil's Kitchen campsites, and that was right next to a water source. Yesterday was a little hard because there's quite a long stretch. Basically the whole stretch that I did yesterday had no water until Devil's Kitchen. So I kind of went into the day dehydrated and continued to stay dehydrated. I probably should have been better about doing, I should have been better about looking to see that, because I did get to a point where I only had like 8 ounces of water left, and it was only thanks to some trail magic. I know one of the people running it, her name's Taco, and she had another gentleman with her, and they are doing trail magic this weekend. right after you come down from that big climb and big descent between Hightower and Gooch. So yeah, I was kind of tired. I got it onto the trail right before noon, so I did about 6 miles or so to Devil's Kitchen, and then the creek at Devil's Kitchen, I got water at the Trail Magic. They had a bunch of stuff. They had candy and fruit and beer. I didn't drink any of the beer because I knew I was dehydrated. Look how pretty this is over here this morning. So I ate some stuff. They also were cooking some fajitas. So they had tortillas and peppers and chicken. So that was really good. And they had their dog Nola with them. And he was very sweet. And definitely thought that every backpacker was going to give him some trail magic too. So I love seeing dogs on trail. It makes me happy. But yeah, I got to bed kind of late last night. I finished the book that I was reading. And then didn't really sleep that well. I would say I finally put in 2 of my earbuds, and I probably should have done that sooner. It was a little windy last night, so lots of bushes in the wind and twigs snapping and that kind of thing, keeping me awake. And then it kind of got cold right when the sun went down and then warmed up, so I woke up at one point like way too warm in my sleeping bag. So I finally think I got to sleep like solid around 2 and then woke up. Elf on the Shelf, who was the gentleman that I was hiking with before, he stopped for some other trail magic. Let me stop it to do my update here. And he got up early this morning. He was out 30 minutes before I was. And I was out of camp by like 6:10, something like that. Yesterday was also a lot of logistics that I had to figure out. It is Sunday, but tomorrow night is supposed to be 20 degrees at night with a 5-degree wind chill. So everybody and their brother's uncle is trying to find a hostel to stay in for Monday night right now. And I was messaging Sean, and he was able to secure me a spot at a hostel actually tonight and tomorrow. I didn't want to completely lose out on miles, but I also can't camp between Jared's Gap and Neil's Gap because I don't have a bear canister. I hang my food. So I kind of realized I need to do that section all at once. So what I'm gonna do is go to Woody today, which is only like maybe 3 miles more, because it's about 8:15 maybe right now, and I have a shuttle picking me up at noon from there, and I'm gonna go hang out the rest of the day at the hostel, do laundry, charge my stuff, just rest a bit since I've had 2 nights without good sleep. I know if I keep pushing myself and my body doesn't have enough sleep to recover, it's gonna bite me here. So maybe I'll get in an afternoon nap, get to bed early tonight, and then I will select pack tomorrow. So I'll get dropped off back at Woody and go 10 or 11 miles to Needles Gap. And that's where the Mountain Outfitter is that has the big outfitter store. I'll get picked up there again and go back to the hostel for Monday night. If the weather continues to be really cold, I noticed Tuesday and Wednesday's forecast are also showing like 20 degrees at night. I think I can do it. The big thing about Monday is it's supposed to also rain all day. So even if I slack pack, I'm doing it in the cold. It'll be like in the 40s and raining, which I can do. But I think Tuesday and Wednesday aren't supposed to rain. So I'm a little less worried about the cold if it's going to be dry. So that's kind of my update for today. I'll continue to let you guys know how things are going. It looks like I'm probably doing a little vlog update about once a day in the middle of the day while I'm hiking my miles here. And so I may not always do like an end of night update, but I'll try and give you guys an overview of everything that has happened or decisions or whatever since the last time that I did a little update. I think that's it for now. I'll try and get some pictures at the hostel and then do an update again tomorrow when I'm slack packing. I've been walking along a ridge line here along the side of this mountain and started over there today. Only got maybe 2 miles left and this is just a beautiful view. Alright, I made it to Woody Gap. That's what that sign says back there. And a really pretty view out this way. I got a picture of it. I'm waiting a few minutes here for a shuttle pickup to go to the hostel. So I made it the mileage and I think there's a bathroom here, so I'm gonna use that.